The Bank of Industry, BOI, was reconstructed in 2001 out of the Nigerian Industrial Development Bank, NIDB, that was established in 1964. Its pioneer management, headed by Dr. Lawrence Osa Afiana, was appointed by the Obasanjo administration in 2001 after a competitive exercise.
Why concentrate on SMEs? We concentrate on SMEs because by and large, the cost of servicing SME is much higher than the cost of servicing a large enterprise. When you are in that kind of business, there's no question what should drive what you do. Efficiency.
Ambassador Zachary Ibrahim was BOI's first chairman.
It is indeed an honor for me and my colleagues on the board of the Bank of Industry, BOI, to say a few words on the occasion of our formal inauguration to take charge of the affairs of this key development finance institution.
One of the major achievements of the startup team between 2001 and 2005 was the restructuring of the 37-year-old NIDB, in the process of which a Swedish consultancy firm was engaged by the African Development Bank. The study was funded by the Swedish government. Building on the groundbreaking work of the first board and management, BOI's second Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Evelyn Oputu, with the support of the reconstituted board, headed by Chief Olabode George, provided the direction for the bank's new strategic focus, the paradigm shift.
We're going to try as a bank to be more empathetic to the problems that are facing the industrialists, but to try to work around the problems they face.
The high points of the paradigm shift that was launched in January 2006 are allocating 85% of BOI's credits at 10% per annum to micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, due to their higher multiplier effects per unit of investment. Giving priority to enterprises that utilize local raw materials, especially agro-based ones with extensive value chains, have high employment and export-generating potentials, as well as ventures that promote linkages between micro, small, medium and large enterprises and those promoted by women. Other features of the paradigm shift are deepening the bank's credit delivery process by lending to specially formed cooperative groups that comprise mainly women and youths under a collective guarantee arrangement, and also the establishment of a microfinance bank. Under this initiative, BOI studied the Bangladesh model operated by Grameen and BRAC banks.
We thought if we could get BRAC to collaborate with us, to make us see how they've done it, that we would make a change, a real difference to the lives of people.
The Bank of Industries, over the last 3 years, have been so keen that BRAC comes to this country and work in this country to try and improve the poor people's livelihood and lives.
Collaborating with domestic and foreign development partners for the mobilization of financial and technical assistance is another major feature of the paradigm shift. In this regard, the bank, along with the Commerce Department of the United States of America, organized entrepreneurial development workshops in 16 states. This led to the establishment of equally financed small business development funds with 12 states of the Federation. There are ongoing negotiations with other states.
Our own objective is to bring out more entrepreneurs, more small businesses to grow. So every year we'll try to see what we can bring out of this kind of interaction and make networking possible for our own local entrepreneurs here with those who have international experience.
Under its advocacy program, the bank campaigns for policies, schemes and projects targeted at improving the business environment. They include the Industrial Park and Cluster initiatives. 5 years after the launch of the paradigm shift, BOI has continued to witness unprecedented expansion in its credit operations without compromising the quality of its investments while posting impressive financial returns. The cumulative value of fresh loans and investments rose by 1,591.22% from 9.8 billion naira to 165.74 billion naira between 2005 and 2011. The percentage of its annual lending to MSMEs reached 96% within the same period. The bank's efficiency also improved remarkably. The portfolio at risk declined from 65% in 2005 to less than 14.98% by 2011 December. The industry average in Nigeria is 32.8%. BOI's audited group profit before tax also peaked at 2.578 billion naira in 2010, compared with 105.360 million naira in 2005, which represents a 2,355% increase over the same period. The development effectiveness of BOI's operations has been remarkable, as cumulative jobs created have exceeded 1.2 million. These achievements resulted in BOI's appointment as manager of many state and national development initiatives by public, private, and international agencies. Amongst them is the United Nations Development Programme's $4 million access to renewable energy project in Nigeria. And recently, the federal government facilitated the approval of a $500 million line of credit from the African Development Bank to the Bank of Industry for the development of MSMEs and the entertainment industry. This process similarly led to the launch of the 5 billion naira BOI Dangote Small Business Development Fund.
We are committed to further investing additional 7.5 billion in subsequent phases based on the successful takeoff of this phase 1.
All these are in addition to the 18 initiatives that BOI was earlier appointed to manage. They include small business funds totaling 4.5 billion naira in 12 states, the Central Bank of Nigeria's 500 billion naira intervention fund, the 100 billion naira cotton, textile and garment industries revival scheme, and the 10 billion naira rice processing fund. In pursuit of its mandate, BOI has been mobilizing prospective investors from the diaspora and other parts of Africa who are already active players in the global economic value chain to partner with Nigerian entrepreneurs in the transformation of the Nigerian economy and its integration into the global economy. In this regard, it recently facilitated the visit of 6 of such entrepreneurs based in East Africa and the United Kingdom, who met 3 state governors, 2 ministers, and the leadership of the Budget Office and the Central Bank of Nigeria.
We've had a very smooth transition of civil government from one to the other, which in this part of the world has been a challenge in a few years, 20 years ago. But right now, this has demonstrated that Nigeria is open for business.
On a regular basis, BOI officials interact with various private sector organizations to enlighten them on its products and services and how they could be accessed.
I will say that as of now, we have good government that introduce Bank of Industries to support we manufacturers. With them now, we expand very easy.
Our relationship between we and Bank of Industry is very cordial. It's just like husband and wife. We thank the management for their support.
Steps taken to improve work environment and also diversify sources of income are the construction of a corporate office in Abuja and remodeling of its head office in Lagos. Through its subsidiaries, BOI also develops aesthetically outstanding housing estates in Abuja and Lagos. BOI's success story has been attributed to a number of factors, including sound management and resourceful personnel that were recruited through highly competitive processes and corporate stability. For instance, it has had 2 MDs, CEOs in 10 years, both of whom had strong commercial banking and private sector pedigrees. There have also been 3 boards of directors within the same period. The 9-member board comprises the chief executive, 2 executive directors, 4 institutional representatives, and only 2 political appointees, one of whom is the chairman.
Under our watch, professionalism will remain the emphasis. The bank will continue to strive for the best and only what is best for Nigeria.
As a service delivery organization, the Bank of Industry invests heavily in capacity building that includes constant exposure of its directors, management, and staff to global best practices. It recently engaged a team from the Queen's University of Canada to conduct an intensive course for its staff.
Growing businesses is very critical for us if we have to industrialize this country. So that is why we decided to bring resource persons from Queen's University in Canada, and indeed a number of other external resource organizations across the world to come to Nigeria and train our officers.
Like any human system, BOI has weathered some storms. The first was in March 2006, 3 months after a new management came on board. Its head office building on Broad Street collapsed after a fire incident.
Following the collapse of the Bank of Industry building on Broad Street, it is very important. The Bank of Industry is a very, very important arm of government, and it is necessary for them to continue to do business. And Mr. President has graciously approved that the bank should make use of these premises.
BOI was back in business within 7 days.
The bank's business has remained unabated in view of the strategic importance of the BOI to the current efforts at transforming Nigeria's industrial sector. All hands are on deck to ensure that the bank's activities are not hampered by this catastrophic incident and that the high momentum of its operation is sustained.
That year turned out to be the most prosperous since it was established, as BOI's loan approvals increased by 11.8 billion naira, compared with 9.8 billion naira that was recorded within its first 4 years of operation. Its profit before tax also went up by more than 10-folds to 1.334 billion naira from 105 million naira in 2005. Based on that outstanding performance, BOI was voted the best development bank in Africa in 2007 by the African Banker magazine, published in the United Kingdom. And in September 2010, one of the bank's most resourceful staff, 30-year-old Oluyele Ogunde, was killed a few months after his wedding during a kidnap incident along Aba-Port Harcourt Highway while visiting BOI customers in the southeast. Mrs. Ogunde was pregnant when Yele was killed, recently had her baby, and has been employed by the Bank of Industry on compassionate grounds. BOI's leadership and staff, who are irrevocably committed to the institution and its mandate, have remained undaunted by the challenges of our times and have forged ahead with a task of nation building that has continued to earn the institution accolades.
I've often been accused of being partial to BOI. What I try to do is encourage all DFIs to follow their footsteps.
I would like at this juncture to again commend the Bank of Industry for their efforts in keeping with the spirit and letter of their core mandate and on providing funds to address the problems of this sector at a single-digit interest rate of about 6% per annum and a long-term repayment period of about 10 years.
I have seen the passion, the interest you have, the commitment, the zeal to make a difference. And I feel honored, I feel proud that we have people like you who are committed to drive the economy of this country. extend my appreciation to other staff of the Bank of Industry that are not here.